What do I have it on? 72? Am I supposed to turn it up, or does it stay on 74?
We are now live streaming.
I'll remember. All right.
All right, it's 5 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. This is the June 8, 2020, 5 p.m. McCracken County Fiscal Court meeting. We are live streaming this due to the COVID-19 pandemic and doing the meeting by Zoom. So, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Parker?
Present.
Commissioner Jones?
I'm here.
Commissioner Barlaman?
Here.
And Judge Commer?
Here. And Commissioner Barlaman, you offer a prayer, please?
Sure will. Let us pray. Father, we just thank you for the blessings of this day. We just pray for our country at this time, Father. Just give a healing hand on the events that are taking place, Father, and let us all be unified and work together to make this a better country and a better place to live. Father, we pray for the first responders and all of the workers out there that are protecting our community and our country. We just pray you be with them and give them safety as they go about performing their duties. Father, we just pray for the medical community, be with them as they deal with the coronavirus issues, and just help them be safe and help them have the knowledge they need to properly treat all those who have illnesses and other issues, Father. Just pray you be with us tonight as we deliberate the business of this county. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, thank you. And would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we're going to, could I have a motion, or I'll make a motion that we move the agenda from, have the Friends of the Park move to the next item on the agenda so that we can hear them and not have to wait to a lot of other business that we have. Was there a second on that?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, so we have with us Blair Toller, Amanda Esper, and Melanie Patel, who are some of the members of the Friends of the Park organization. I spoke with Dr. Toller last week sometime, I believe it was, and he said that he would like to come and participate and just give us some information about their group, and he's very generously given his time, as are Mrs. Esper and Ms. Patel. So Dr. Toller and ladies, it's all yours, and we look forward and thank you for joining us in our meeting.
Well, Judge, thanks for having us. I enjoyed our conversation a couple of weeks ago, and it just made me realize that this conversation was even more important to be had. You know, this all came about within the last few weeks whenever the city decided to put a pause on the wellness center plans, an 88-day pause, if you will. And in light of, you know, other concerns within the city and the community in general, we thought it was important that even the group kind of circle back and kind of refocus on things and remind ourselves how we came about. Several years ago, I made a post. I was a coach of a pretty competitive travel baseball team. My twins were playing at the time, and we were traveling nearly every weekend to communities not too far from us, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours around, to play in outstanding tournaments. And I made a post on social media that apparently made the rounds quite a bit. And as a result, kind of a group of people with like-minded interests in terms of promoting sports and recreation, but maybe different types of sports and different types of recreation met to see if we could help make a difference for our city and our county. It's kind of morphed into we're the wellness center people, and we're here to raise money for the wellness center and the indoor swimming facility. And although that remains a focus of ours, it's not the only focus. And several weeks ago, we met again and reviewed our mission statement. And our mission statement, which was adopted more than a year ago, was to work to further inspire, educate, and promote healthy living in Paducah and McCracken County. Doesn't have anything about the wellness center involved. It doesn't have anything about indoor swimming. It's just about promoting and supporting healthy living for our city and our county. And the way that we wanted to support that was through assistance and work and volunteer time to raise money through philanthropy for those types of endeavors. And with the Wellness Center being put on hold, and who knows moving forward what holds for that, we had to kind of recenter ourselves and decide what we were going to do. And we remain focused on helping the city and the county to promote things that will improve the health and wellness of our community. Granted, the city was the first to come to the table and ask for our assistance where the wellness center was concerned. And we'd gotten pretty far down the path of strategizing and coming up with naming opportunities and things like that. But just like anything from a philanthropic standpoint, we needed details and you know, what is the building going to look like? What is the building going to have? What can we name? What can we take to donors? And what opportunities can we offer to people? So we were kind of at that stage early this calendar year whenever everything got put on hold, and there was obviously a lot of controversy over the wellness center in general. But we wanted the opportunity, and we have had the opportunity to talk to city leaders about this, that, you know, we remain focused on helping anything that helps this community. And if that's the wellness center, then that's great. If it's not the wellness center, then what are some other things that we can help with? And Judge, whenever I called you a couple of weeks ago about this, I think it was kind of a new thought for you too. You know, that I think that to some degree we've been completely isolated and situated in the standpoint of that we're just here to help with the wellness center. But we want to remind the city leaders, and we want to remind you all, our county leaders, ask us for help. You know, if there's something that you guys have considered in the past and just couldn't move forward with for financial reasons, how can we help with that? And I know that some of the things that you guys have discussed, and I've read about it in the paper, about the transient hotel tax and the revenue generated off of some of the other sports opportunities and recreation opportunities, are not only going to be beneficial to our community, but also doable for our community. We want the opportunity to help with that as well. And so the main thing about this was I wanted to address you guys and make sure y'all knew that remains our focus, and that remains our mission to promote health and wellness for our community. And if there's anything that we can do, we would certainly love to have the opportunity to talk with you guys about that.
Well, let me just say a couple things, and then I'm sure the commissioners have some comments and questions. First of all, I was quite excited after I talked to you about that offer you gave to look into that. And I know you've got a great group of people who are genuinely motivated for the community. The county, as you may have seen, ladies and Dr. has been on a tight strings as far as finances. Commissioner Jones came up with his transient home tax plan. It is working well, but as you can imagine, it takes a while to build up capital, and these sporting facilities are quite expensive, particularly if you do them what I call right. And right means money, and it means we want to do this once. We want to get it. We want We don't want just passing mediocre facilities. As you know, I guess, our soccer complex is on a portion of the reclaimed landfill. We have a plan to have a very, very nice soccer complex that's going to get done. It's a little ways off, but we're working through that. Volleyball, basketball, bike track over in the landfill area. We'll open up the landfill area for other things. At the Aero Park over there for that sort of thing. Dog walk and just outdoor activities in general. And so thank you very much for your offer to look at where you can help the county, and of course the city being inside the county would benefit greatly too. I was told when I came into this office a year and a half almost ago that there are roughly 1,200 young people who play soccer, and so the bang for the buck for soccer alone would be tremendous. That's just for our local people. The bang for the buck would bring in tournaments and having organized play, tournament play, and that sort of thing. Soccer, volleyball, basketball, whatever. It's an exciting time. And the thing that really is sort of hampering us just plunging in head first is that we just don't have the finances to get that done. And we prefer not to have to try and borrow money, or we'd like to be able to do it as this community as a whole pitching in and working toward this. Who's got the latest? Did you have Ms. Taylor or Ms. Esper? Anything you want to say?
I think Blair said it very well. We just wanted to make sure that we reminded everybody about what our true mission is and where we go with all of this. And we're motivated to help improve this community and do what it takes. So we're excited to hear what your all's thoughts are on this.
I think that we would love to be a part of many different pieces of this, and project-based pieces, or however you guys see fit. But we didn't want to be left out in the cold in this. I think that Friends of the Parks, we have a perfect mission to help you guys, and that's really what we want to do, is help promote wellness in the entire county.
Commissioner, got anything?
I think this is great. We'll take all the help we can get. I mean, we want to move forward as soon as we get our bearings. I'm sure we'll be looking for help.
I appreciate you coming and reminding us of your mission, that it's beyond one project and one location, that it is a bigger mission to meet all the needs of the community. I think we need to prioritize what we can do in stages, and I think your help will really be a benefit to that, not only helping to raise funds, but maybe the just the input that you can add to this because of your dedication of what needs to be done. I'm like you, Dr. Toller. I spent time traveling with my grandson on traveling baseball, and we always went to Memphis and Arkansas and a lot of other communities, and we can have that here. We're at a good location, and I just think if we put together a plan and work together and have community support, I think we're going to become a shining star in the in providing athletic opportunities, and I just appreciate what you're doing and the offer for help for that, because it's just something we've needed for a long time, and I just think it's finally going to happen. It's going to go probably a little slower than some want, but when going slow will allow us to do it right and plan right, and as the judge said, make sure we do it once and not have to do it twice.
Sure.
Well, I want to echo those comments and just thank you for your expression. You've invited me to a couple meetings. It's a great group of leaders, and I appreciate following this. Look forward to following this up with more conversation.
Thank you.
What about, do you have questions for us, ladies and doctor?
I would just ask you to, to keep us updated on things as you guys are doing things and in opportunities where we can be involved, where you think that, philanthropy can help with your desires and where there might be shortfalls. We've had lots of conversations about that. And Mr. Bartleman, you said something about, the traveling with baseball. It's funny because that's been my experience. But it's the same story with softball. It's the same story with soccer. It's the same story with swimming. It's the same story with volleyball and basketball. There's so many stories that are the exact same. And that is on Friday afternoon, everybody packs the car up and they leave. And then they come back late Sunday night, if not early in the morning, after midnight Sunday night to get back home and crash before you go back to work Monday morning. And, all these families are getting hotel rooms for 2 nights and eating out. It's amazing to me, some of the cities that I went to that are lesser quality cities that are harder to get to than Paducah, that we went to and had unbelievable experiences in their parks and in their organization. So my kids are past that now. They're playing tuba and cello and violin and piano. They don't, there's not many travel sports going on with my kids, but this is home for me. And this is where I plan to retire. And God willing, my kids come back here with grandkids. I hope my grandkids are able to play soccer and swim and baseball and softball and basketball and volleyball, all within the confines of our wonderful county.
I was in Cape Girardeau this weekend and is at a 10-year-old baseball tournament. They had 88 teams. That's an hour away from us.
Spending tons of money there.
Tons. It's a
Buying
big
lots of barbecue chicken.
And you see the handsome young man in the blue shirt in his square down there. That's Steve Irvin. He represents the county in dealing in our going back and forth with the Sports Tourism Commission. So he's very much aware of what's going on there. And so you might be hearing from him as we go forward. And I don't know if there's anything else to Steve D. We call Steve Irvin Steve E. and call Steve Doolittle Steve D. We've got 3 or 4 other Steves around here. But anything else, Steve D. or Steve E.? Do you want to say something? Steve E., you're muted.
Just to echo that it's exciting and thank you for coming. As you know, the Sports Tourism Commission is meeting right now and they're very active in the process of working with our architects through site selection and programming right now to kind of find out what our community actually really needs. So I will certainly pass this along and thank you.
Is there a point of contact for us here that we should be talking to specifically?
Well, I would guess Steve E. would be the one, Steve Irvin.
Okay.
And he's right in there with the Sports Tourism Commission, could answer your questions directly, probably on the phone call.
I would also, if I could, Judge, the Sports Tourism Commission meetings are also televised on YouTube. So I'll probably get your contact information tomorrow and I'll send that information out to you where you can watch it at.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for having us and for letting us speak and giving us your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Hope you have a quiet night.
Me too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, then let's see, we need to go to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve this consent agenda?
So moved, Bartleman.
Second, Parker.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
All right, that carries. Budget transfers.
It is ordered that the necessary cash transfers in the amount of $463,500 be made in order to pay county bills and payroll approved June 8th, 2020.
So made, Parker.
I'll second.
Is that a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Opposed,
Aye.
no. That carries. Accounts payable.
It is ordered to approve the vouchers claim register from May 27th, 2020 to June 8th, 2020 to show county bills in the amount of $561,542.45 were paid.
So moved, Bartlett.
Second, Parker.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. We've got this discussion, we've got Wayne Elliott here, McCracken County Conservation District, for a presentation of the budget. Let's see, where? Let's see Wayne now. You there, Wayne? Oh, there he is. I'm not hearing you, Wayne.
All right, I am unmuted now. Well, good evening, everybody. And I hope you all had a chance to look over our budget and our plan. And one of the things I'd like to stress is our main objective is to work with landowners, producers, partners, anything to improve the water quality and maintain topsoil in McCracken County. The value of topsoil is hard to put a dollar value on, because you can buy some topsoil, but on a large field, there's no way to fly the topsoil back out there. And one of the main things we provide, as far as that is, the use of our 2 no-till drills that we maintain. And it has been used by 40-something people the last couple of years, and some of them range anywhere from hunters to small farmers, and even large farmers will sometimes use it, because it's a piece of thing that no-tills, which conserves the soil, that an individual most usually cannot justify owning it. By owning 2 of them, we are able to service, and we save probably unknown tons of soil every year by using these drills, which improves the water quality. We have less runoff in the creeks and the rivers, as well as maintaining the topsoil. And we try to help with education as much as possible. As you all know, we have our poster and essay contest. We'd like more involvement, but that depends on the teachers in the school system, how many of them will send applications to all of them, and how many fill out. Never as many as we'd like, but we do have a loyal following. And I assume y'all have had a chance to look over our information. I'm entertaining any questions at this time, please.
My favorite line in the whole thing is when I look at professional services, see how much legal work you're using. It says 0. So you either got a really cheap lawyer, or you're handling this stuff by yourself.
Well, I could see where that would irritate 2 of you. The other 2 should appreciate that. So I figured we split on that one.
So you have 1 employee, or
we only have the 1 employee that we pay for, which is our secretary, and which is she works 27 hours a week, and we post hours and everything, and we have to have somebody to be able to come into the office to apply for different things, because we help with Kentucky agricultural water quality plans, which states in Kentucky used for a while. Then they got real lax, and everybody's plan's outdated, and they need to all be updated to participate in these different programs and different things, cost shares and stuff, and to help keep track of our drills and stuff. And unfortunately, we meet the 4th Monday of each month as a general rule, similar to you guys.
I mean, what's the per diem expense? I saw it was a $6,700. What's that cover?
All right, that's for each of the 7 commissioners. If for every meeting, if you attend 2 different functions a year the state puts on, you qualify to get $75 per meeting. And if you do not, you qualify for $50 per meeting.
So your balance brought forward 25,000 as of July 1, 2018. So you keep about $25,000 in reserve.
No, generally not. That's this year we didn't get to have a couple of our functions, but like we would have the tree giveaway that we do every year. That didn't take place on account of the situation.
Right.
And then our banquet, we didn't have our banquet where we honor show the posters and the kids come out. I think you've attended that before, Eddie.
I have.
And Bill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so we had that. A couple other things we had now, and another thing we have to look at is our two drills were both purchased in 2010. So we're looking at probably going to have to update them in a short period of time. So,
I guess that's what we were. You're not sitting on $1 million anyway.
no, and also we're sitting on $7,500 for the McCracken County as soon as you have your environmental dump day or whatever, which we do every year. So $7,500 something the state has sent us that will go over directly to y'all in a check for $7,500 as soon as y'all have the dump day.
I got you.
And also, I think there's possibly a cost share figured in there that as soon as the producer does his, we will reimburse that money. And we'll go over. So sometimes some of the money in our account is not really spendable money. It's being held over and getting ready to go out a different door. It comes in one door, we're sort of a holder for some funds.
All right, so any other questions, comments from anybody?
Good to see you, Wayne.
Yeah, another thing we do participate in, we try to always be involved when in the fall when the teachers have their education day there at Carson Park. We try to always have a booth and set up there whenever possible. But this last year was a little bit more of an adjustment for us. Our secretary we'd had for several years retired, and we've had training a new lady, Miss Tilford. So that was one reason our budget was sort of not exactly as in order as I would like to have seen it. Let's put it that way.
All right, and Steve or Sam, do we have some action we need to take on this?
Yes, I think later on in the meeting, we have an order for the budget.
Steve Doolittle, do we have to have a agreement with them like we do other organizations we fund?
No, I don't think so because they're governmental.
Okay.
All right, well, Wayne, we've got we've got an order later on in the agenda that will hold on.
Excuse me, sir. There's not, the order to pay the conservation district was included in the consent agenda, I believe.
Oh, that's what I was referring to. So we don't have any other action on the agenda tonight.
So we actually already agreed to pay him before we even heard all that promotion from Wayne.
We had extreme confidence in Wayne.
The payment is for this fiscal year. Wayne's presentation is for the fiscal year beginning July 1.
Correct.
And that's in our budget, right?
And that is in our budget.
That we're going to consider later on.
So we haven't given him the $2019 yet. This is or the 2000.
Yeah, well, I think we're making our last of our payments here.
I got you.
All right then, well, Wayne, good to see you. Good to hear
Good
from
to see
you.
you. And if any of you gentlemen have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me or Daniel Phelps for any information.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, that gets us to the court orders. We have a number of court orders, Madam Clerk.
It is ordered that the contract between the McCracken County Jail and Mid-America Health, Inc. for dental services performed by Mid-America Health, Inc. to inmates at McCracken County Jail be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Can I
Any
ask a
discussion?
question? Yeah, there is. How many, it was in there, they charge $2,500 a day. Is that right, Steve? Do you know how many we see on the average for that $2,500?
$2,200.
Excuse me, 2,200.
I do not have the metrics of how many they see.
And does that provider come to the jail, or do they have to be transported in one of the county vehicles?
I am unsure of the ones that come to the jail and the ones that have to be taken out. I know they've done them, I believe they do them both ways.
I wonder if we bid this out to any of our local people.
Was it done by sealed bid? No. But the administrative code and the statute would not require to seek bids for medical service for inmates.
Well, maybe I misphrased that. Maybe did we contact any of our local people that do this type of work?
I do not know how many they sought quotes from.
Would it be appropriate if we delayed this till we got some information from the jailer on how many people, $2,200 a day are they seeing? If they come in and see one person, pay $2,200. If they see 10, they pay $2,200. I think you can take them to can we delay this till we get answers from the jailer?
If you want to.
I make a motion, we pass
yes,
over
we
this
can.
item.
I'll second that motion.
The motion is to pass it to the next meeting, get more information. Is that what it is, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion on that? And all in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. All right, that carries. We'll pass it to the next meeting.
Can I ask a related question? Is this something we could do a request for services for the next year, following Commissioner Parker's thought that maybe the reason we haven't had any local interest is because we haven't told them about the opportunity. And is this something that we could put out to the public that, hey, here's an opportunity for dental work if you're interested?
Well, there would be nothing to prevent you from doing that. It's just that the administrative code and the state statute does not require bids for medical services or negotiated. I don't know how the jail came upon this group.
And I guess I don't know what our role is. Is it, I mean, obviously it's our role to approve this contract. Is it our role to ensure that the public at least knows of this opportunity? And
it's my understanding that they have been on the ground in this jail for at least 6 months, that this contract was not passed to the fiscal court until it came up in conversation a couple of weeks ago that this one had never come forward. So that's why it's worded somewhat the way it was, is because they've already been here and they're already working.
Yeah, the date on this contract's December 6, 2019 was assigned by the healthcare company.
Right. So it's been almost 6 months. Yeah.
And this isn't for, reading the contract, it's not for emergency care, it's just for regular maintenance, because it has a 10-day provision. If you don't cancel a visit within 10 days, you still have to pay the $2,200. I think we have a lot of questions about it. And do you know how much we've spent with this company so far this year, Steve?
I do not.
The treasurer, Pam, do you know?
No, not off the top of my head. I don't know. But this company, I believe this was the same company that was doing this before December. I believe they were the company that was already in there doing this work prior to that on another contract. This contract just failed to get renewed.
Well, we could have the jailer present next time to deal with those questions. And Steve, can you alert them to what some of our concerns are, questions?
I will.
Well, I would have interest in us putting out a request for services and at least seeing if there's local dental professionals that want this opportunity. But we've got time. I assume we'd want to do that around, I mean, is this a contract? Well, I assume it'll expire in November of 2020. So we probably want to put something like that out in August.
At least, or earlier.
You probably don't know the answer to this, Steve, but do local dentists provide this, or is it a traveling dentist comes in from another community?
I do not know where the dentist comes from.
2,200 a day seems like an awful lot. I mean, if it's for routine services, I mean, then if we have emergency services, it's on top of that. So we just need a lot of questions answered about that.
I did talk to the jailer about it. What he did say is that it's usually 10 or 12 inmates and it's usually an extraction. So it's about, they stack them up and there's about 10 or 12 teeth pulled and that there's a waiting list to have your tooth pulled. Not your.
And that's a county responsibility.
I'm sorry, what?
And that is a county responsibility for us to take care of the neglected dental of inmates. I'm being facetious, I guess.
Yes, I did ask that question. I think, Steve, you told me that there's been some federal state decision that includes dental care or I guess the basic dental care for the extraction at least. I don't think they get braces.
Well, I think if it's necessary, that the county would be responsible for any necessary medical treatment, including dental. Steve and I can get with the jailer and see what the ins and outs are of it, and we can have some discussions about putting it out to see if local dentists are interested in it. I suspect it'll take them a little while to investigate and see if that's something they want to get into. But we'll go down that road and we find it.
We might not have any choice but to approve this one, but the next one we can maybe put out for bid.
So when is the, I didn't catch, when is this contract expired now?
It's a 12-month contract, goes to November 2020. Start in December 2019.
Okay, well, I'll get with Steve and we'll get with Taylor and see what we can put together. Have something back then for the next meeting. Okay, on B.
It is ordered that $1,325 be paid to Nikki D. May for design work for the water tower project. This will be paid from the new bank account designated for the water tower project.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion?
I guess I just want to clarify. So new bank account means that the money in the new bank account, it's not tax dollars. It's money that has been contributed by individuals for this project.
Yes,
That's
that is
right.
correct.
And we hired Nikki May to do the design work. In fact, I believe, I tend to be sort of picky about things. I'm sure you have noticed that, but so we wanted to get this just right. I think that now we have it, even just today, just right. And so I think we have the design. Now we're going to work on deciding what the actual project will cost, and we'll be then poised to actually start asking the community for some money to go toward this. We've had, I don't know, Pam, what was like several $1,000s come in just from people hearing about the project without being asked to donate. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. C,
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to execute the ancillary agreement between KSR Legacy Investment Corp. And McCracken County.
So made, Parker.
Second, Bartleman.
any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
D, it is ordered to enter into an agreement with Construction Safety Consultants, Inc. for safety services and drug screening for the McCracken County Road Department at unit prices and hourly rates in accordance with the agreement for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021, not to exceed $16,000.
So made, Parker.
Second. Jones.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on May 29th, 2020 at the McCracken County Courthouse for bituminous asphalt paving for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. One bid was received from Jim Smith Contracting and was taken under advisement.
So made, Parker.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
It is ordered that the bid for bituminous asphalt paving for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 be awarded to Jim Smith Contracting. The amount of the bid is as follows. Material PG 6422 HMA surface, $74 per ton in place, $62 per ton FOB Paducah. PG 6422 HMA base, $74.58. Leveling and wedging, $74 and not applicable. DGA for shoulders, $44 and not applicable. DGA for roadbed, $35, non-applicable. Striping 4-inch yellow per linear foot, 15 cents, non-applicable. Striping 4 inches white per linear foot, 15 cents, non-applicable. Milling per hour rate, $2,100 per hour with a 5-hour minimum.
So made, Parker.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on May 29th, 2020 at the McCracken County Courthouse for stone for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. Bids were received from Vulcan Materials and Wind Materials and were taken under advisement.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the bid for stone for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 be awarded to Vulcan Materials. The amount of the bid is as follows. Material DGA, price per ton FOB Coleman Road, $14.30. Price per ton pickup at plant, $8.95. Class 2 channel lining, $17.60 and $11.50. Class 3 channel lining, $17.60, $11.50. 300-pound channel lining, $17.85, $11.50. Number 3, $15.35, $12.50. A quarter-inch minus, $15.35, $10. Number 610, $14.30, $8.95. Number 9M, $18.10, $12.75.
So made.
Second, Bartley.
Discussion.
Was this the, so I saw we had two bids and I see the Vulcan bid. I assume it's lower than Win. I didn't see the,
Yeah, the wind bid's not in our packet.
The
You know, Steve.
Vulcan was the lower bid,
Is it low on everything or low on the majority or?
low on most of the stuff that we buy. The majority stuff that we purchase.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on May 29th, 2020 at the McCracken County Courthouse for delivered fuel for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. One bid was received from JSC Terminal LLC, DBA Midwest Terminal, and was taken under advisement.
So made, Parker.
second.
Any discussion?
So that, what is this bid? This is fuel for who?
It's only fuel that we would use for the road department. And only for the fuel that we keep on site, which is pretty minimum.
Steve, would it save us money if our other vehicles went to the terminal and bought their fuel at the terminal?
I don't know. As we discussed before, the county for a very long time has been on the fleet card that allows our forces to buy gas all over the county, having long decided that it'd be difficult for us to bring all of our vehicles back to a central point, which is basically at the convention center. WEX is, our fleet card service has bid similarly. It's an Opus type bid. That contract will be expiring again at this point, and I think at that point we can examine if it's possible or feasible to look at central purchase from one point. Probably the biggest impact is on deputies. They're all over the county all the time instead of coming back to one location. And probably not even feasible for the road department. And it's basically those two departments that do, I would easily say 80 or 90% of our fueling comes from those two departments.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the bid for delivered fuel for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 be awarded to JSC Terminal LLC, DBA Midwest Terminal. The amount of the bid is 16 cents for gasoline bid amount over Opus and 16 cents for diesel bid amount over Opus.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to approve the May transient room tax in the amount of $106,715.04 to be dispersed as follows. Paducah CVB, $31,496.32. Convention Center, $21,286 and a penny. Sports Tourism Commission, $32,359.97. Escrow Fund, $21,572.74.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion?
So do we know the occupancy rate for May or? I'm just trying to figure
Well,
out.
we
this
don't,
first month?
we don't do a combined report on occupancy. They do report numbers to us in conferring with the research materials that the CVB gets. So taxes collected in May reflects all of April. So that was probably from an occupancy standpoint, the worst April of record. We've had occupancies taken as a whole, around 30%.
April's usually the big month too because of the quilt show. So
Correct. That's the real kicker. Is it's traditionally it is the highest grossing month for transient room tax.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
Ordinances. A, it is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2025 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. Summary of bond ordinance and notice of adoption of bond ordinance. The McCracken County Fiscal Court at this meeting held on June 8, 2020, gives second reading to and adoption of the ordinance titled as follows. An ordinance of the County of McCracken, Kentucky, authorizing the issuance of its general obligation bond anticipation note, Series 2020N-1, in an approximate principal amount of $600,000, approving a form of note, authorizing designated officers to execute and deliver the note, authorizing and directing the filing of notice with the state local debt officer, providing for the payment security of the note, creating a note payment fund, maintaining the heretofore established sinking fund, authorizing acceptance of the proposal of the note purchaser for the purchase of the note, and repealing inconsistent ordinances. This ordinance sets forth general rules, regulations, and conditions for the issuance of a general obligation bond anticipation note by the County of McCracken, Kentucky, the county, in an approximate aggregate principal amount of $600,000. The notes for the purpose of 1, financing all or a portion of the cost of the acquisition, construction, installation, and equipping of 4 full-size portable court sport surfaces totaling 37,632 square feet of portable recreational space for use at the Paducah McCracken County Convention Center located at 415 Park Avenue, Paducah, Kentucky, the project, on an interim basis in anticipation of the future issuance of 1 or more series of the county's general obligation bonds, and 2, paying all or a portion of the cost of issuance of the notes. Provisions are made for the authorization and issuance of the notes, for the application of the proceeds of the notes, for the establishment of a note payment fund and maintenance of the previously established sinking fund, and for certain covenants of the county with respect to the notes. The notes are to be sold by means of a private negotiated sale pursuant to KRS 66.141. The notes pledge the full faith and credit of the county, and provision is made for the collection of a tax to pay the principal of the interest on the notes, subject to certain credits as provided in section 10 of the ordinance. As required by KRS 83A.060, the appropriate portion of section 10 of the ordinance is set forth as follows. Section 10, general obligation. The notes shall be a general obligation of the county, and for the payment of the note and the interest thereon, the full faith, credit, and revenue of the county are hereby pledged for the prompt payment thereof. During the period the note is outstanding, there shall be and there hereby is levied on all taxable property in the county, in addition to all other taxes, without limitation as to rate, a direct tax annually in an amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest of the note when and as due, it being hereby found to determine, excuse me, that current tax rates are within all applicable limitations. The tax shall be and is hereby ordered computed, certified, levied, and extended upon the tax duplicate and collected by the same officers in the same manner and at the same time that taxes for general purposes for each of the years are certified, extended, and collected. The tax shall be placed before and in preference to all other items and for the full amount thereof, provided, however, that in each year, to the extent that the other lawfully available funds of the county are available for the payment of the note and are appropriated for such purpose, the amount of such direct tax upon all of the taxable property in the county shall be reduced by the amount of such other funds so available and appropriated. Reference is hereby made to the full text of the ordinance, a copy of which is on file at the offices of the county clerk for a complete statement of its provisions and terms. The undersigned attorney at law, licensed to practice in Kentucky, hereby certifies that the foregoing title summary of an ordinance of the county of McCracken, Kentucky was prepared by the undersigned. It constitutes a general summary of essential provisions of said ordinance. Reference to the full text of which ordinance is hereby made for a complete statement of its provisions and terms. Signed, Marcus Franklin, Dinsmore and Shoal LLP, 50 East River Center Boulevard, Suite 1150, Covington, Kentucky, 41011.
So moved.
Second.
Good job, Vicky.
Thank you.
Eddie, did you want to hear that again?
Judge, if I could just point out that, and I know we've had that read 3 times now, but I think it's important to say every time it reads like there's a new tax, but there's not a new tax. This is simply a revenue bond funded by the existing tax.
Actually, it's going to be funded by another bond issue in 2 years that will be repaid with money the Sports Commission makes through the transient room tax. There will be no general fund tax money used regarding this. It's not coming from the general fund.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Mr. Rawlings, anything you wanted to contribute? You're muted, sir.
You're muted, yeah.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to let you guys know that we were successful in getting a hearing date set with the state local debt officer. That is set for July 2nd. The current plan is to get bid specs out to local banks and probably a couple of regional and national banks that might be interested in bidding on the note, such that we get those back in right around the time of the state and local debt officer hearing, so that we'll then be in a position to close fairly quickly, assuming that there's no one attending in opposition to the note at the hearing.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion?
Steve, the Doolittle or the bid we received, the bid that the Sports Commission received for the equipment, will they be purchasing that before the bonds are sold because of the deadline for the 60 days on the bid, or can they wait till July or early August till the money is available from the bond?
So we had a deadline of June 10th to execute the contract. That has been done by the Sports Tourism Commission. We're looking at, from that point, approximately a 90-day turnaround, and then they're going to bill us. So approximately 120 days from June 10th is when we'll need the money.
Does there need to be a payment ahead? Do they already have to make a payment before the 120 days?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I thought at one time we talked about maybe we'd have to front the money and pay it back when the bond came in, but you're confident that
it doesn't
get it all from the bond.
It looks like the timing will be right. So I'm not concerned about it.
Okay. Thank you.
No other discussion, and all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries. The next ordinance.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the first reading of ordinance number 2020-6 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. McCracken County, Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2020-6. An ordinance amending McCracken County ordinance number 2015-9 by making revisions to the provisions pertaining to site plans contained in section 51 and the provisions pertaining to stormwater management facilities design criteria in section 65. Summary. The action effectuated in the present ordinance is authorized and required by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 100, and operates to amend the McCracken County zoning ordinance regulations contained in Article 5, Section 51, by specifying the administrative approvals of a properly composed and submitted site plan as conditions precedent to issuance of a building permit and the administrative review available should a site plan be denied. Further, the present ordinance operates to amend the McCracken County zoning ordinance regulations contained in Article 6, Section 65, by limiting the maximum depth of water held in a stormwater detention basin located in a parking lot to not more than 6 inches. Certification. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2020-6. Public inspection. A true and correct copy of ordinance number 2020-6 shall be made available for public inspection in its whole and complete form by the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office. Any person desiring to inspect ordinance number 2020-6 shall contact the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office via telephone at 270-444-4707 to make arrangements for the transmission or delivery of the same.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Greg, this deals with two issues. One is the stormwater, and two is the administrative review of plans. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, you're correct about that.
Okay, thank you. And this is a recommendation from the staff, right? From you and Steve Irwin and
The staff took it to the planning commission, and the planning commission recommended both of these be approved.
Oh, okay. At one time, they only recommended one. Is that right?
No, that was a third one.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. First reading.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
Let me ask Greg, is the third one, is that going to come before us, or is that a done issue with the planning commission?
As far as I know, it's still going to come before you all. I'm not sure when.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
think we're, Unless I'm mistaken, we're scheduling that for the 22nd.
Okay. And does that have to do with administrative review also, Steve?
It does.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Are you ready?
See,
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the first reading of ordinance number 2020-8 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. McCracken County, Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2020-8. An ordinance setting and establishing the proposed fiscal year 2020-2021 operating budget for the funding of all McCracken County governmental operations prepared in strict compliance with the mandates of Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68. Summary: the action taken by the present ordinance is required by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68, and is carried out in strict compliance with the same. After detailed investigation by the McCracken County Fiscal Court into each separate activity of the county and necessary funding requirements for the provision of the same, a proposed county budget is now prepared and submitted for approval of the fiscal court by expenditure allocated to budget units as classified below. General fund, general government, $4,451,210. Protection of persons and property, $1,141,491. General health and sanitation, $436,087. Social services, $50,000. Recreation and culture, $288,829. Airports, $150,000. Bus services, $9,000. General services, $1,104,362. Contingent appropriations, $500,000. Fringe benefits, employer's share, $2,007,326 for a total of $10,138,305. Road fund, roads, $2,962,265. Capital projects, $497,150. General services, $2,000. Fringe benefits, employer share, $702,467 for a total of $4,163,882. Jail fund, protection to persons and property, $5,411,505. General services, $11,000. Fringe benefits, employer share, $2,180,823 for a total of $7,603,328. Local Government Economic Assistance Fund, Social Services, $51,075 for a total of $51,075. State grants, funds, Social Services, $40,000 for a total of $40,000. Federal grants, funds, Social Services, $90,000 for a total of $90,000. Sheriff Fund, General Government, $3,517,766. General Services, $2,000. Fringe benefits, employer share, $2,046,364 for a total of $5,566,130. Economic Assistance Fund, General Government, $6,000. Contingent appropriations, $10,000 for a total of $16,000. Juvenile Justice Fund, protection to persons and property, $35,000. Contingent appropriations, $10,000. Total $45,000. Excuse me. Transient room tax distribution, recreation and culture, $2,844,608. Contingent appropriations, $686,712 for a total of $3,531,320. Debt Service Fund, bonds, courthouse, $241,083. Other county liabilities, $2,086,671. General services, $1,100. Contingent appropriations, $10,000 for a total of $2,338,854 for a grand total of all funds, $33,583,894. Certification, it is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2020-8, public inspection. Ordinance number 2020-8 shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion?
So there's $9,000 for bus services.
Yes, that's for the amount you, for the busing of school children. That is a pass-through assistance between transportation, McCracken County, the Catholic schools, and the McCracken County school system.
That's not Pat's.
That's not Pat's, no.
So this budget does not include a 4% increase in property tax?
So these are the presentation of the appropriations. Of course, we have to have offsetting revenue that balances this. To make the revenue side of the budget work, we did not include in that plan for there to be an increase of 4% of the property tax. We instead increased our reliance on fund balance. So basically, to make the budget balance to this sum of $33,000, we're throwing the entire fund balance at it. Now, there are the great unknowns that are out there, as we've discussed before. We don't know how badly our occupational taxes will be battered from COVID, and nor are we entirely sure of how well the new revenue from insurance premium taxes will perform. I think we'll have a much better picture over the next 2 quarters. We will be, I'm confident, coming back and asking you to make adjustments to the revenues and appropriations as need be. We're going to monitor it closely. There's not a lot of fun in this budget. It's pretty much a continuation budget of the prior year. There's no frills in it, no fluff in it.
So when you say you're throwing the fund balance at it, you mean our reserve?
The reserve, yes.
And are we still in a deficit situation in which we are spending more than we are generating in revenue, even with this budget?
Yeah, so instead of this being a recovery year, this continues us in our deficit for at least another year, if not 2.
And what's the amount of that deficit?
$2.5 million planned.
Steve, what was our fund balance at the end of May?
Let me open that. I have it right here. I don't know about the audited coming into this year was $2,728,000.
That was on May 30th of 2019, right?
Yes, June 30.
Okay, so what's the fund balance on May 30th, 2020?
Well, We don't have the May numbers yet out, but we do have the April numbers.
Okay, what was April?
At the end of April, it was 6.4 million. No, that was cash available. That wasn't exactly fund balance. That includes the entire fund balance of the prior year and the unspent monies in the current budget. It just represents cash available. It's not
So it's-
really the fund balance.
It's likely that the fund balance on June 30th of 2020 will be higher than the fund balance on June 30th of 2019.
I hope so. In order for
That's
that
an
to,
That would be an
And all-
indication that in 2019 and 2020, that we took in more revenue than we spent if the fund balance increases. Is that a correct assessment? If we have more money on this year than last year, that means we took in more than we spent.
yes. Yeah. We track a number in the budget as it is projecting itself, and we're thinking that we're going to perform a little bit better than we did last year, based on looking at prior years.
So that means that we did not deficit spend in we will not deficit spend in the 2020 fiscal year.
I'm not ready to predict that.
I remember looking at the figures comparing, I don't have them in front of me now, but the last figures we saw on the reports, we had already, I think, pretty well met our budget projections on revenue, and we still had a couple months left. So, I mean, I know that we still have to be careful on spending, but we did, I think we're going to find that we didn't deficit spend in 2020.
So between, so as of June 30 last year, our deficit was $105,000. And we did take in a little bit more revenue than the year before, based on 4%, based on inventory taxes. And we did do pretty significant reductions in capital expenses, that being primarily represented by paving. So we probably did, $500,000 less paving than the year before. We managed to squeeze some savings out of fringe benefits, namely health insurance. We did not see predicted increases go through. So there's some pluses and minuses.
And we also had a considerable increase in revenue from the clerk's office because of the increases that went into effect in January. Is that correct?
That is correct. And we started seeing those collected in February.
Right.
And those were unplanned as well. So there's some, and I think if there's a COVID dividend, it's coming right now in the jail with the reduced population. So the jail is performing very well on its budget. The road department will be a little under budget. The sheriff will be within budget, and the clerk will be at or below budget as well. So the major departments performed well, and the general fund performed well from a from a spending standpoint.
So it's more than likely, unless things really fall apart, we've had some recovery in 2020 then, is that right?
We've had some recovery because of some modest increases in revenue and squeezing the budget hard on spending.
Right. Which I think the public wants us to do.
I didn't hear a great applause from the public when we created extra revenue sources myself, but they do want us to operate within the budget and provide services, just at least some, rather not pay for it.
And they want us to have a reserve, which we're headed, hopefully headed in the right direction. We'll see.
I think had COVID not happened, we would have been, with the adjustments made to the budget, we would have been well on our way to recovery. But I think Commissioner Bartleman can be correct if COVID isn't going to hit us as bad. You know, we're bracing for a 25% decrease, and if that happens, that's got to come out of really this year's budget. We can't spend that. We can't spend that money until we know for sure that our occupational taxes are going to recover quickly.
But I think we're going to be hit with that, but I think our major employers did not lay off. For example, the DOE plant, they sent their workers home but continue to pay them. And we don't have the retail shut down like the city had. So I think we're going to have a reduction, but I don't think that I don't have any accurate figures on it, but the biggest percentage of unemployed were probably in the city and not the county because of the retail layoffs and restaurants and those things. It's the one time it was good that we didn't have a lot of retail outside the city limits.
Yeah, and that's the one we're going to watch the closest. And again, we will collect our last quarter of this year in July on payroll taxes, and then the rest of the net profits taxes are due in July. So so some of the money that should have been collected this year, we know won't, because people are hanging on to it till they have to file for what was calendar year 2019. They don't have to file until July 15th of this year, but that's already the next fiscal year for us.
Thank you to you and Pam for working on the budget so hard.
Pam did all of the heavy lifting.
No other discussion. And all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
Resolutions. It is ordered that a resolution be adopted and enacted to authorize the funding for the transportation of non-public school students for the 2019-2020 school year, and authorizing the application for reimbursement of a portion of those costs from the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that the McCracken County Judge Executive is authorized to execute an agreement regarding the busing of non-public school students between the Board of Education and McCracken County, the McCracken County Fiscal Court, and St. John's Catholic Church, and it is further ordered to pay the McCracken County Board of Education the invoiced amount of $12,497.85 for the busing of non-public school students and apply for a partial reimbursement from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that a resolution be adopted and enacted for the purpose of applying for a 50-50 match grant through the Department of Justice for 20 body armor vests from Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vests Partnership. Total cost is $14,360. Grant at 50% is $7,180.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that a resolution be adopted and enacted for the purpose of filing of a coronavirus relief fund application for reimbursement of incurred expenses in CRF funds with the Department of Local Government.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Judge, is this the fund that we were in the webinar in earlier this week or last week? Is this the CARES fund, Steve?
Not CARES fund, regular rotation of law enforcement grants.
No.
This one, this one has to do with the coronavirus relief fund. It's number D.
Oh, D. Yes, D is for the coronavirus.
Have you been gathering a list of possible reimbursements? I mean, there was a lot of stuff on there, but it's pennies, but every little penny helps, I guess.
It does. We've had one grant you have prior approved that was for $58,000, and of course our issue really hasn't been the money we're spending on coronavirus. It's really about the money we've been losing. So, however, as we look at this next allotment and we have this resolution on file, it'll authorize us to apply for all of the things that are on that list. And if we can, as we talk to Keiko and other counties about how they're applying that, we will take those lessons and we will try to collect as much of our allotment as is possible. But we're not consuming a lot of stuff like hand sanitizer and stuff like that. That's not what's really been costly to us.
They also talked about in the webinar we were in last week that you can recover funds if you had an employee, like in the clerk's office. I think we had one that was diagnosed with the virus and they were quarantined. We can recover the salary of that person. Anybody who was ordered by a doctor to be quarantined, we can recover those salaries, if I remember from the webinar correct. Any equipment we had to purchase, maybe overtime in the clerk's office to prepare for the election and things like that, I think are all eligible.
We've been tracking all of that stuff, and we will go after all of those particular things. They don't add up to a whole lot, but every little bit helps.
Right. I think it looks less likely they're going to fund recovery of lost revenue for us. At one time, I think it was on a positive direction, but I think that's kind of stalled now. Is that what you're hearing?
It's the reports I've been hearing is that there were too many other things attached to it that one or other of the houses would not consider. So it was, for now, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Right. I think some of the members of Congress want to put money in there for things not related to the virus, like pension funds, long history of deficits in that, and that wasn't the intent of it. So it kind of killed the whole thing.
I believe that's correct.
Thank you.
So we had to do this resolution to get things started, and then we'll make several applications as time goes along, because we cannot, I think our deadline is December 30, I believe. And so
Correct.
we can't go, we can't look forward. We can only look back on what we spent, even if, say we know an employee's going to be off for 6 months or a month or 2 months or whatever. We can only apply for the money that we've already lost through the loss of that, or the services we lost to the employee.
Have we, what are we doing to clean the courthouse? Are we doing that in-house, or are we considering a contract out, temporary contract?
We have not contracted anything out. We've been managing it internally with the same number of staff. What has been extremely helpful to us, we have distributed lots of cleaning materials, and so unlike during sort of normal times, the employees have been leaning in and keeping their personal areas sanitized. And then, like, for example, in the very limited court activity that's happening, the court officers spray the disinfectant when people stand up and move and leave. So everyone is around here is chipping in and helping out for their own personal safety, and it's been working so far.
Did we vote?
No, sir.
Like to?
Yes.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. That's all the resolutions. I don't know of anything that we need at this time to do in executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. We're adjourned.